Alright, so hopefully my mic is working this time around. Apparently went for the first 20 minutes with no mic. I don't know why, but it just decided not to activate this time. So guys, if you can't hear me at the start of the match, you can hear me in stream, please let me know and we'll try and get it sorted out a bit faster this time. But as it is, this is game 2 between No Tighter and Pulse. No Tighter currently holding a 1-0 lead, and in fact racking up a 30,000 gold lead last match, a very, very strong lead. That said, it is now No Tighter's turn to start up the bans here. No Envy, of course, taking the banning lead. We'll see what they decide to get rid of. Of course, Wisp is a priority ban against Pulse. They are a very aggressive team, and it is a hero favoured by them, but particularly Mini, and they cause a lot of damage with a really good game sense on those ganks, and they actually try to give them a bit more farm than a lot of other teams do. But that said, we'll see what No Tighter decide to open up the bans with. Now, last match they did go with the Lone Druid for Bulldog, and Bulldog has 3 heroes I see him play all the time. The Bounty Hunter. Why do I have no sound in game again? Okay, I've got no in-game audio right now. This could be a bad thing. I think my Dota 2 client is just misbehaving tonight. But, as I was saying, Bulldog does play... I've seen him play 3 heroes, and just about 3 heroes. I've seen him play the Bounty Hunter, the Lone Druid, or the Nature's Prophet. Rarely, if ever, see him play anything else, but we'll see what they've got in mind this time around. And we'll also have the Undying bans. Why do I have no fracking sound? Speech is on. Mic should be on as well. This is beginning to vex me somewhat. Okay, anyway, so we do have Batrider also banned up at Pulse. Still waiting to see if anybody starts yelling at me in chat in a moment. But we'll see in just a second here. We do have another ban here. I did hit voice record. No, I hit the voice record. Why is it not working? We do have the Batrider ban as well. Dirge being banned up by No Tighter. It looks like they don't want to use it. That said, Pulse uses it on the odd occasion, but in this case, they have admitted that they do very much hate the hero Dirge, and Undying, in all honesty, is a very big pain in the ass to play against. We also have the Magnetor ban out, and this is definitely no surprise. They just get banned out quite a bit. No Tighter opening the Wisp, but looks like they might try and get their hands on Sven. Now, this is it though. They've got the Wisp now. This is a troublesome bit. They've got that Wisp, but at the very least they're keeping Bounty Hunter off them. You know what, I'm just going to restart this client. Far out, this is driving me absolutely nuts. I am just going to restart this client, and the Steam client as well, because there is no sound. Why is there no sound? You get to see my awesome background. No, frack off. Later. Okay. Alright, so let's try this again. I don't know why, but the client has just... I do not know why it is doing this. It is just trying to drive me nuts. It's too early in the morning to be dealing with this. And yes, I see people making fun of that. I have a potty mouth. It's true. And to avoid swearing on stream, we're going to come up with something else. It works, and it doesn't get me in trouble with management. Okay, and we'll hit the voice record again and make sure things are working. We'll see what they're up to on the banning phase. And yes, No Tighter does supposedly have a sponsor. We just don't know who it is just yet. They're keeping it under wraps for now. Still no noise. This is really pissing me off. Okay, audio. Try that one. There we go. Okay, I've got audio now. Hit that again, just for good measure. And we'll see once we go to the bounty house, we'll be able to check whether the mic icon is there. Okay, so we do have Sven being banned out as well. No real surprise there. They don't want to get Sven, and they no turn it. Interesting. They open up with a Darkseer as well as Londra. We could see a Tiny getting picked up here, but I'm kind of expecting Pulse now to go, holy crap, ban Tiny, ban out the Chaos Knight as well. Of course, Chaos Knight still, he's not as popular anymore since Sven has come around, but he's still very good, I feel. And of course, Sven with his Warcry does give a lot of positive armor against this Cleave. Sven kind of dumps on top of Chaos Knight. The amount of armor he has really cuts down the damage from Chaos Knight, and on top of that, Cleave really dishes out the damage to the illusions very quickly as well. But that said, with Sven banned off the table, I think that Chaos Knight is still completely viable, especially with the Wisp. That said, we'll see what they've got in mind. Might even see something crazy like a ganking lineup with a Pudge or something along those lines as well. We do have the Enigma being banned up by no time. A little bit worried about them getting their hands on that. We have we've got a lot of negative armor there. Bounty Hunter being picked up, Templar Assassin as well, Jakiro. So they've got a fairly solid lineup for the beginning. So we've got their Suicide Laner, their Solar Mid, and one of their supports. We'll see what Pulse have in mind though. Pulse have a habit. They don't generally run they don't generally run a Trillion. Most commonly, Pulse will do a lot of pulling instead. They prefer to pull the jungle. They don't want to just put a lot of heroes in that lane. They don't like getting underleveled. They always want people farming. Crow says, no, I did not make up frack. Of course, it is the go-to word for Battlestar Galactic. But that said, we do have a Tidehunter banned out as well. In fact, this is something NTH, they used to really hate this hero. But that said, they're always worried about diving. They want to get aggressive, but they're worried about diving when Tidehunter has Ravage up. That said, they don't ban him that much anymore. Tidehunter actually not even that popular in the current meta. A lot of people really overlooking him as of late.
10 seconds remaining.
There we go, Tiny being banned. I kind of expect that. Nake's being banned up by no Tidehunter. Okay, are we going to see a crazy Pudge Wisp combo here? Which, I mean, it's not bad, it's good in fact. It's actually really, really powerful if you play it correctly. But that said, it really comes down to the hooking power, and I don't know if, I really don't know if S4's got the hooks. We'll see. But Chaos Knight, there we go. Like I said, Pulse, likely to ban out Sven, Tiny, Chaos Knight. There you go. This is like, holy, this is working down the list of what do we ban that goes with Wisp. Now no Tidehunter. Maybe they just plan to use it with a bear. I mean, maybe they just plan to give the bear an insane attack speed. That could, like you see Alacrity bears, maybe that's no Tidehunter's plan here. That could be it. We'll see. And of course, Wisp also helps, might even help out the bear with the whole getting hammered on towards the late game issues. We'll see. We'll see in a moment though. Why does Fishbone use an infused tag? I don't know. He just wants to be different. He does. But we'll see where they go with this one. But now the fourth pick here for no Tidehunter. They decide to go to Leshrac. Also, Wisp and Leshrac, not a bad option either. It does work. Of course, helps Leshrac. It's not so much for the attacks, but it's more for the mobility in a fight. Helps Leshrac stay on target. And more importantly, dance back and forth. Because he really doesn't want to get hit in the face by a bounty hunter, that sort of thing. If he can keep his distance, he will like to do that. That said though, Pulse, they're probably looking for some kind of primary farmer here. We'll see what they've got in mind. They might even go for a jungler as well. They do have Chen available if they want to try and get their hands on that, but we'll see what they decide to go for in a minute.
10 seconds remaining.
In fact, interesting, Gyrocopter has been a sort of a go-to pick every now and then. He has been fairly popular as of recent. That's nobody's picked him up tonight or even considered banning. We saw him banned the night before, but we'll see what they've got in mind now. But right now, no Tidehunter's picks really comes down to whether or not just trying to sort of imagine whether or not people can hear me in client.
Radiant team pick.
I'm going to assume that the mic is working in game because nobody's yelling at me right now in the chat. Okay, why isn't this in game? Sodding. Open mic is on. We'll try turning open mic off and then hitting voice record again.
10 seconds remaining.
Freaking work.
5 seconds remaining.
Okay, anyway, the final pick here, and we do have Pulse grabbing themselves an Invoker.
Reserve time.
Okay, Invoker, of course, a lot of team fight potential. If he goes to the Class Works, it can really hurt Leshrac. If they're going for a farm at Leshrac, those early EMPs really, really sting in a minute. We'll see what no time to have this. So it is time for the final pick here. We'll see what they go for. Whereas I think Pulse, they're probably looking. This could actually be a safe lane invoker, and this means I get the feeling they're going to pick up a jungler, or they'll pick up a support who will just do a lot of pulling in the jungle. But I get the feeling we're going to be going for a safe lane support here, and Shadow Demon the final pick here for no time. So it looks like it will be a Wisp and Leshrac. Actually, this might actually just be Wisp and Bear. This could actually be Wisp and the Spirit Bear, just for the insane attack speed, but we'll see what they decide to go with. And Leshrac, it looks like he will be some kind of support here, in fact. Shadow Demon going to be the hard spot, probably going to be Envy, but that said, Aki, who is a support player, will be on. I think will be on the Leshrac here, and he won't get that farmed, but that's it. I think the Wisp is mainly here for the lone draw, but we'll see what they decide to go with.
10 seconds remaining.
Unless, oh no, actually, I lie. They could actually be planning to put S4. S4 could be mid with Darkseer, it could be Bulldog. I get the feeling, no, wait a minute, I'm going to take this around completely. Darkseer is going to be Suicide Lane with Bulldog. Leshrac will be S4 in mid. Bulldog, Loda possibly on the lone draw. It really depends what they decide to put on the lone druid, whether or not Loda's going to play. Because like I said, Loda does play lone druid, and he does do fairly well. And there we go, Nyx Assassin, the final pick for Pulse. And they have a lot of mana burn here. This is really going to gimp Leshrac a bit. He's just not going to have any mana during these fights. But on the other hand, it actually kind of depends what picks they go for with the Invoker. I'll call out the heroes, the players in a second here, what they decide to go with. But Invoker, I think Wagamama likely to take the safe lane here, and they're going to farm him. Nyx, actually, that's the mini. I have no idea. Mind blown at the moment. This could actually be dual lanes in a second. We'll see. This could actually be a dual lane with Mini and Fishbone in the mid. They could even send Wagamama towards a suicide lane. I don't know. I really don't know. They've got so many farm-hungry heroes here. I mean, the only real support, like all these heroes, Bounty Hunter, Templar, Assassin, Invoker, Nyx Assassin, all these heroes, they want money. Bounty Hunter doesn't need that much money, but he wants levels. He's not so much money hungry, but he's level hungry. So he doesn't really want to share his lane that badly. And he wants to just sort of sit around and leech experience, but we'll see what they decide to go with. But my mind blown by the moment by Pulse. Like Envy said, Pulse tend to pick all sorts of batshit crazy lineups. So we'll see what they've got in mind. But for the Radiant side, for no time, we have Envy playing Wisp. Okay, Aki playing the Shadow Demon. We'll be Loda on the Leshrac. Okay, so Loda will be playing the primary farmer Leshrac. Bulldog playing Lone Druid. S4 on the Darkseer and solo mid. And playing for Pulse, we have Fishbone on Jakiro. We have Mini playing Nyx Assassin. Wagamama on Templar Assassin. Rishon playing Bounty Hunter. And Pinoy playing the Invoker. This is just WTF, man. Smiley face there from Loda. It looks like the in-game mic is working. Fantastic. Okay, it is working. Wagamama will be taking the top lane with his Templar Assassin. Mini is going to be pulling, maybe? I'm not dead sure there. Okay, we'll see what Mini's up to. Maybe they're hoping to send Mini up against Snow. Wait a minute, we've got Bounty Hunter here. Bounty Hunter will be suiciding. Rishon has his hands on that. Throws down a blocking ward there. They're worried about the pull happening, although... Actually, not so much the pull, but on the Radiant side, of course, Darkseer, when the creep goes up under the tower, one of the things Darkseer can do is just quickly duck over here and farm this camp very easily. And he can't even stack any of his downtime as well. But on the other hand, can't really do that in the Dire. It's just such a hike from that mid-tower to get back there. And Wagamama, though, going to be going for an early Basilius by the looks of things. WTF.
The battle begins.
So he will be just focusing on pulling here. They're going for a dual mid there with the Invoker. He will be going for an Exort Invoker. They want to go gank Happy. Alright, apparently it's not coming up with the client. I think this may have been my fault in the end. Oh, God. Okay. I'm gonna get cop help for this in a moment. Alright, then. Alright then, so we're trying to sort that out, but I think I may have forgotten to set the spectators. That is actually my fault completely. Okay then, so we do have Wagamama though, possibly going to be trying. It's going to be trying here with the Mini. Mini though, having picked up that stun. That said, I'm not sure how I feel about this because Nyx Assassin is a fairly level hungry hero. We're going to see disruption there. Going to try and set up. We get this good stun down towards the ice path as well. But there we go. Wagamama though, going to cop a stun there from the tether. Getting driven back now. Not going to be able to pick up the kill. Oh no, he will. Lightning just managed to leap over the top of them and pick up the kill with a level 1 Lightning. Did not expect that there. I thought he was clear. In fact, Mini probably, or Wagamama probably also thought he was clear there. Unfortunately, getting picked off in the end there. Refraction not able to save him. Has picked up the level 2 side blades now. But I'm a little worried that they are going to cop a lot of harassment from that. That said, we're going to see Rishin get driven back there. Has opened up though with the poor man's shield. Getting pulled a bit of regeneration there. Ice path, nicely done there. Landing that one. But it will be Loader getting most of the farm here. It looks like it's going to be fairly difficult for Wagamama to land this farm. I really don't know about this. I think while this might work for a little while, you see that it's kind of like putting line into trial. You see the low level duration on that stun. See, doesn't get used to that. Doesn't get used that often. As you see, a save there from the disruption there. Dual breath getting tossed out as well. Looks like Envy now in some trouble. Can we get a lightning off there? As it looks like Envy will back up. Sunstrike though, gonna dodge it. But that said, Impale once again gonna pick up tethers over the top, only to be killed. Oh, somehow Chikuro getting that kill. I think the dire creeps must have taken that. I was gonna say I thought the neutrals picked that up there, but the dire creeps gonna snag that one and actually credit Chikuro with the kill. I was gonna say I don't think he had liquid fire for the DOT there, but I believe it was those little melee creeps grabbing that one. A nice try though from Envy, trying to escape in the end there. Now Rishi just going to harass it. That's it. The Baron's taking a lot of harassment, of course, not actually having a shield there. In fact, looks like he's picking up the early ring of protection there, going for those tranquil boots. It's a fairly common pick up there on the lone druid. The Wagamama though going to get driven back. Again, not picking up that much time. 4 and 2 at the moment. 1 and 0 though for Nyx. And it's more important. I'm more worried about the experience game for Nyx, just because, like I said, this is why we don't see line in Trons, because that really crappy low level stun, like the 1.27 seconds, that's not good. That's not a good duration. And then being melee as well, just cannot even control the lane all that well. That's it though. They did at least pick up a kill there, but they did lose that first blood. And most of all, they lost the first blood on Wagamama of all things. That's the hero that they really need to keep alive here. That's it. Pinoy though, going for the Exalt Quas build at the moment. Rishin though getting harassed fairly heavily there. Meanwhile, in the mid, we do have Invoker just dropping down to the bottom room to check that out. Darkseid now going to go top check on the rune. It's a haste up there. Invoker unfortunately ending up wasting time, actually copying a bit of damage on the tower as well. No, Darkseid decides not to gun for anything. He has gone for a level 3 in his Iron Shells. I wonder if he's going to go top with that, because of course he could drill down these heroes fairly easily, but they are mostly backed up at the moment. And he's mostly worried about his farm here. And this is one of the issues, even if they go ganking, if they leave the Darkseid here and let him farm and farm and farm towards about the 20-minute mark, if he has that mech and picks up the mech and also grabs a pipe somewhere in there as well, that's really going to cut down the damage that Pulse can deal. Although that said, they do have a lot of physical damage in there as well. They do, of course, have the Bounty Hunter as well as the Templar Assassin. But on the other hand, they have a lot of magical damage as well. So this will help. They can get that pipe up and running. It will definitely be quite helpful. Now, Disruption, they're going to try and take Nyx out of the picture for long enough. Ice Path goes out in Power Toss down as well. They do manage to land the Split Earth, but Envy taking a lot of damage. Loader now moving in. Carapace going to be quite annoying to try and toss the spells against. Here comes the Sunstrike, though. We'll pick off the Shadow Demon. Looks like they decided to go for it as Darkseid was headed top, and they could see him going there as well. Now Fishbone though in some trouble. Is going to see S4 proc that Carapace is low level though, vacuums him back. Going to go for the kill there on Fishbone. Pops a magic one. Ice Path. No, changes his mind. Changes his mind again. Loader though throws out the stun. It's on Mini. Mini now getting picked off. Ice Path lands on Loader. Dual Breath as well. Should be able to escape. Surged away as if Cold Snap though. Invoker has arrived. We'll pick him off now. Bulldog, though. Tranquil Boots set on cooldown there. A bit of harassment from the Bounty Hunter. Going to set them off. Then we go to recall that band. Nicely done. Prox and Roots involved. Some counter harassment now. Rishan's somewhat annoyed by that. Loda has picked up early Arcane Boots. It's going to allow his team, his trial here, to spam like crazy. The counter ward being tossed down by the die there just to get rid of that. And Wisp actually tossed one down there earlier, just to block with. Meanwhile, though, farm-wise, Invoker 24 and 5, not doing too badly. Could be a little bit better, but that said, he is being harassed fairly heavily by the Darks. You see the vacuum back. Of course, he does have the Quas. He's only level 2, though. Cold Snap, though, really hammering S4. S4, though, not really caring too much. We'll just pick off these creep. She's changed his mind. He's actually going to run back now. Bottle up, although Wisp now going to charge across there with a tether. And Bounty Hunter also moving in. No, gets stunned there. Looking for the Janata hit. Going to throw it down on Wisp anyway. There we go. Going to pop the illusion as well. Now S4 charging in here. Bounty Hunter, though, still giving chase. We have Pinoy now moving up. As he have Sunstrike up. Sunstrike gets ready. Could gun for this. Needs to dodge. Envy not going to get hit by it. Going to throw out the oars. Picks off the Bounty Hunter. Cold Snap. He does have vision up on the high ground there because he can see him with the track. A miss. He picks him off. Gets the kill, though. But a double kill for S4. That is still painful. Even though it was a track kill, it's only a level 1. That's only 75 gold there, I think. It's only roughly 75 gold there between the heroes. Not a huge amount. Nyx Assassin has gone for the Impale. No mana burn just yet. Level 2 Impale, of course, needs to level up that stun time. Mana burn, of course, kind of annoying, but that said, this is mana burn in the late game. I think is really, this is possibly why they picked him just in the late game, because it is going to hammer Leshrac. Leshrac is really not going to enjoy that burn on a 4-second cooldown. Will limit the amount of pulse and over it can do, and also just dish out a ton of damage. And Lone Druid is farming 42 and 13. This is definitely going to be an issue for him. The fact that Lone Druid is farming quite strongly. And see, this is what I mean about downtime here. Darks here, not worried about diving past the tower. He's just going to pick up a stacked camp. Going to pick up all those little minions there, clean them up. And it's not a huge amount of gold, but it's just making the best use of your time. Also, so going to go to the hard camp and just stack this for later. Either himself or Lone Druid can pick that one up fairly easily. See an Impale there. Loader going to get picked up there. Some mana burn as well. Didn't have much to begin with, though. Will get picked off. The disruption, not enough to save him there. As it looks like Wisp also not going to port to this fight. They will pick off the Shadow Demon. To be honest, they probably could have saved him regardless if Wisp decided to arrive or not. Actually, he's not carrying any TPs. He's a little bit too poor here. He is busy buying all the wards. Shadow Demon, on the other hand, going for the consumables at the moment. Now, there is an invisibility rune. It popped up here. Tethers in. Will manage to get that rune bottle now. Are they going to give chase? The orb's going to deal some damage here to Pinoy. He does have an item coming out to him, though. It is... Oh, no. Wait a minute. Looks like he managed to get... I can't... It's Midas. Okay, picked up Midas. Not going to help, though. Does get picked off. Another Tether coming in. Fishbone now in some trouble. They're going to go for the track here. Or the speed not helping him out enough here at the moment. So it looks like Wisp just buggers. If Wisp just backs up here, it will be able to pick up this kill on his own. They're going for that Janata hit there. It's not up 2 seconds. Managed to pick it up in a second. No, jocks back the wrong direction. Doesn't quite grab him with a Tether stun. A good attempt, but he will bring him down. Pops down a counter ward as well. And Bounty Hunter picked off, and a triple kill for Darkseid. Now, I was saying, this is a hero you really don't want to feed in the early game, or at least just give him free farm. And I mean, he's been getting good farm and a bucket load of kills. Look at him, 5 and 1. 5 and 1 before the 10-minute mark. He's getting more than 2 kills a minute right now. And he's going to pick up a fairly early tower to boot. This is a huge gold increase for him. See, 475 gold per minute, and he doesn't even have a Midas or anything crazy like that. And it's just jumping up to around 500 gold. 500 gold per minute gain at the moment. This is really going to stink. Bottom tower also about to fall as well. They're going to pick up Fishbone again. No Tidehunter picking up kills left, right, and center. Loader finally managing to get the aggro off himself there. Will get teleported home. Actually, not teleported home. Teleported to the top lane, in fact. Looks like they teleported. Actually, no, they teleported to the bottom lane to help push. And they will teleport him back home just in time. Question is, will he keep farming here or will he back off? There is a Sonic Trap tossed down though. It looks like they have got S4 here, so they're quite happy to continue pushing in. Disruption there, as well as the Soul Catcher. Bounty Hunter being caught out by the Nyx movie and need to be careful about dishing out damage to him. There we go, Wisp stunning himself. The vacuum back. He's only a level 1 character, so doesn't do a lot. The Nyx picked up there, as it looks like Templar Assassin running for her life there, along with Rishan. Rishan deciding they don't want to get involved. Edict though, going to come to an end there, and they will just have to beat down on this tower manually.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Wagamama though, going to get picked off. No, he managed to back up in. There we go. Stun thing stacked. Nice disruption. So the Sunstrike might finish him. No, Loader managing to dodge the Sunstrike. Will manage to get away here most likely, unless we can see another Ice Path 2 seconds away. They could try and drop this down now. Although the speed there from the Wisp tether might be enough. Although Loader coming back. The Loader actually going to charge back. It misses the Split Earth. Going to move back in anyway. The Guardian Orbs are down. Impaled there on Envy. Now we're going to have Darkseer charge forward. He's running low on mana though. Soul Ring is up. Could gun for this if you want to. We have got Rishon going invisible. So it looks like the Ice Path going to catch out Envy. Envy going to get picked up there. Split Earth lands. But Loader now. No mana. No backup. We'll need to follow. We'll need to duck back towards the tower here. Aki also losing some speed there. Just gets slowed down quite significantly. Although that's a mini getting disrupted. Isn't under any threat. A lot of back and forth there. But in the end they trade. They trade a Nyx kill for. Essentially they trade a Nyx kill there for a Wisp kill. So fairly even result. Meanwhile though, Invoker still farming away. Invoker currently 334 gold per minute, but he is going for this high damage Invoker, of course, can dish out the pain there with the Exort. Midas really interests me. They're not that common to build. We'll see, that said, top lane, Shadow Demon unfortunately stays too close. Strays too close, gets picked off there. Sonic Traps are a bit of a pain in the ass, can come out of nowhere at you. Huge cast range on them.
Radiant's top tower.
Meanwhile though, that said, Lone Druid of course, this is the big issue. Lone Druid all this time has been pretty much free farming with this Midas. And this is really going to sting Pulse in the rear in a moment. He's about to have his Radiant, or rather his Sacred Relic up in a moment. His Radiant's not going to be completely done, but the Sacred Relic is a big component of that. So we see Wisp now going to help Loader run into position. Now the Vacuum going to come up here, dragging Mini back. Mini Carapace up, going to only still in level 1, barely stunning them for a moment there. As the Orbs may finish this off, they're actually just going to give him a couple of last hits there. As Wisp teleporting back towards the tier 2. His teleport running out there. Spirit Bear though is about to have his relic in a moment. Looks like they're... I'm just going to check if they're actually trading the Hand of Midas back and forth, because if you're using the Bear, I'm fairly sure you don't actually get the experience.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Meanwhile, the S4 pushing up on the top lane, along with Loader. It looks like they're just trying to get these early towers down at the moment. They're taking mid, they're taking all the tier 1 towers. Now Rishon still grabbing his early farm. It looks like he's still trying to build his... Looks like he's still trying to build that bracer to put towards drums. It's a fairly common early item there on Bounty Hunter. See a stun down there. Tether as well will pick off the Bounty Hunter. Fortunately, walking straight in. I believe somebody might actually have... No, it is all counter wards. Just wondering if they had picked up an early gem. No, there's the counter ward just there. It looks like they might gun for a tier 2 here. This is something we have not seen, and I have not seen this in quite a while. The aggressive Leshrac, the semi-carry Leshrac. It's always been viable. It's just a lot of teams just haven't bothered with it. But it's definitely really, really good. See Wisp though teleporting. They're going for a gank on top. Here we go. They're after Wagamama. Wagamama not going to be able to hold off to those refraction charges. Although Envy actually getting a little bit in the way there. They will pick him off. Refraction charges mean nothing to the power of Edict there. As Mini also popping his Vendetta. But it is, again, this is what I mean about the Minis. Level hungry hero. Level 1 Vendetta is not particularly good. You really need to get that level 2 Vendetta. And then he also, like, the other thing is, against a team, like an organized team, they tend to buy a lot of counter wards. You don't want to be relying on the invis to get in. You really want to get that Blink Dagger and Force Staff up and get the mobility on your Nyx Assassin. And by going for the side lane, like going for the support, and the way that he's not been getting very much farm at all, he's 162 gold per minute, it just really, really cramps that. So if you get a bad, if you try with him and get a bad start, it really gets crippled. It's not even like a lion who can just hex and stun from range fairly easily. And just harass from range. It has a huge burst damage. Nuke can just toss out and then back off. We will see Invoker getting picked off there. There we go. The Sacred Relic is done, and Bulldog has another. And Bulldog is pretty much done with his Radiance. It will be around about a 15 and a half minute Radiance. That is definitely not a good sign there at all for Pulse. They're already 7.5k behind, nearly 8,000 gold behind, nearly 6,000 experience behind. So I'm going to check the net worth there. As you can see, they are well ahead of them. In fact, Leshrac and S4 leading the charts. In fact, hasn't got that much. It's just been getting towers and kills and towers and kills. Aki now defending this mid lane though. Rishon's sitting around, maybe thinking he can get a kill though. It's probably not going to happen. Aki could just disrupt him and back off there unless Invoker can land a hell of a Sunstrike. Templar Assassin though did go for the Ring of Aquila. But she has to be fairly wary here because she's quite easy for them to pick her off. And of course, that Wisp teleporting around with Leshrac can cause all sorts of havoc. Meanwhile, Fishbone just gonna Looks like Fishbone's trying to catch up on a bit of farm here. He's just going to take what he can find in the jungle. Meanwhile, Pulse are down to 2 tier 2s at the moment. They have not taken a single tower of their own. Darkseid though has picked up, has gone for the mech. We'll see if he bothers to go for the pipeline. I mean, he's still up against Nyx, still up against the Jakiro as well. It's a lot of magical damage, especially if they caught it in a macropire. So I do feel that the pipe is still warranted. Now Leshrac building towards a Bloodstone most likely with the point booster there. And one of the benefits of Bloodstone gives him a big increase in mana without actually increasing his intelligence, which is one of the downsides, of course, against the Nyx. If he goes for intelligence boosters, unfortunately, he's really going to fall victim to that mana burn. The mana burn is going to be a big thorn in his side come towards this maxed out, towards about the 20-25 minute mark. Actually, it might be a little bit later. Depends whether he goes for Carapace or the mana burn. See what he goes for. Venom Pop, he's going to try and pick off Envy, misses the Impale. This is not a good sign at all. Shuriken though, Envy taking a lot of damage. He's going to teleport out. Going to hope his teammates can find him. No, whoa, okay. Teleports up to the trees. Getting rid of the tethered out. Is actually visible there. Is possibly going to get picked off. Tethers again. Envy making some plays. Will manage to pick off Jakiro. Jakiro feeling a bit silly at the moment. Here comes Wisp teleporting back in. Is in range of a tether. Templar Assassin gets picked off. Lone Druid with a Radiance. Gets the roots. He's going after, unfortunately, Rishon right next to a counter ward. Here's one I prepared earlier. There's 4 down. Oh, it just stacks up and stacks up. Envy, though, proving he's a very nasty Wisp player indeed. Big plays from him. Nicely done. Big bait as well. So we will see this tower also get drilled down the moment that bear has got Demolish up. It's going to tear through. There's the war cry as well. The battle cry there from Lone Druid. Going to buff up his damage as well as his armor. As it looks like we are going to tear through that tower fairly easily. And there we go. They're going to go for a third. Maybe just stack some damage on the tier 3 as well. Although it looks like they may just play conservatively here. Might go for the tier 2 in mid. That's definitely possible. Now they have the Radiance. They have a huge advantage in these fights. Of course, Templar Assassin refractions are going to vanish in a matter of seconds. Nyx really can't do that much against the Lone Druid himself because he's very tanky at this point in time. The burst damage isn't really going to affect him that badly. And just right now, they just do not have the same value in teamfight. Templar Assassin doesn't have a blink. Pretty much they're down to Invoker and maybe a little bit of Jakiro and Nyx, but Bounty Hunter and the Templar Assassin do not have tons to offer right now in these team battles. And there we go, they're just going to force that tier 2 at the moment. Now I think we might just see the Quench, whether or not Notana just want to take control of the map. I don't think they will. See, splitting up like this and just trying to control the map is dangerous because between Bounty Hunter and Nyx, the two of them can work together to pick off isolated heroes. That I feel is quite dangerous. We might just see Notana just group up, grab a Roshan, and then just gun for a tier 3 and a Rax potentially. Though they're going to teleport in top of Bounty Hunter. He gets dusted up. He's quite visible. They're going to try and charge Lone Druid in at the moment. There we go. Vacuums him back nicely. Doesn't quite get the tether stun though. There we go. They throw it in the slow there from the Shadow Demon and will pick him off in the end there. Just in time. Wisp teleporting back.
Top tower is under attack.
The dust was about to wear off there, but Spirit Bear now going to be buffed up there with the Assault Curious in a moment. Though it looks like S4, Rogamama having to back off here. Bulldog, thinking about it, changes his mind.
Radiant's top tower has been denied.
There's no time to keeping the pressure on mid, but this is what I'm a little worried about. Is the fact they keep trying this. They might have. See, when Wisp walks away like this, it's very easy for Bounty Hunter as well. Although that's it, they're throwing their counter wards everywhere, so that might keep them alive. But that's it. If they split up too much and don't have that vision up, that invisible detection up, then it is quite possible that Nyx as well as BH pick him off, or like just pick off heroes, particularly Aki and Wisp. Or even if they get a Sunstrike, and maybe if they work together and get a Sunstrike, they might even be able to take Lone Draw. But that's it. Looks like Wagamama getting harassed a little bit, but nothing serious. S4 though going to cop an Ice Path. Loader is the other one I'm a little worried about as well. He's not that tanky just yet. Only 1100 health. They could try and burst this. This is what I mean. This is exactly what I'm worried about. They split up. There we go. Impale drop down as well. Very easy to burst him down like that. I think they really need to avoid splitting up. Otherwise they're going to feed them a lot of easy gold. A lot of easy track kills, which is about the last thing you want to do. Give away track kills. And also just delay Loader. You really don't want to be delaying that Leshrac. He wants to snowball out of control. But there we go. The Aegis going to get picked up here. And we think we might see Notana just try and force a big team fight. Although, I mean, I think it's definitely possible. They could try and force this team fight because they don't have to worry about that big tornado and EMP. But that said, we got Darkseid tossing on the wall. They are going to pick off Jakiro there. Actually, that was an illusion. Never mind there. Jakiro's still A-OK. The bear, though, giving chase. Admiral Bulldog going to give chase. He has Iron Shell and the bear. Look at this bear go. Going to pick off Fishbone. Ice Path tossed out. Misses the bear. I mean, hits Lone Druid, but who really cares? The bear is the hero at this point in time. Lone Druid just happens to be the pet. A bit of teleport coming. A very aggressive NTH going way overboard here. Not necessary. As Envy may have given... Yeah, what are you doing, Envy? I don't know. Looks like a bit of miscommunication. Lotus said run away. Envy said fight. And then Envy also said I'm going to die now, and died for a horrible, painful death. There we go. It will be a 4v3 though on this push, so it should be okay. Then we'll be able to tear down this tower. We don't have a glyph up for the Dire. See this Demolisher tearing its way through it there. It's a Deafening Blast from Invoker trying to stall. This should be able to get this tower down though. Bulldog though taking a low damage. Not too much of an issue though because he does have the Aegis up and has a spare bear as well. They get the tower. There we go. And this just makes this lane more and more vulnerable. They just got to keep this up. Get a couple, maybe pick a hero off and then gun for it. They said they're not even bothered. They said screw it, let's go. And then we go. The bear can actually heal up there. With his, he's got to switch to range form. This is for all because of the percentages. Switch to range form, pop the tranquil boots, and then switch back to bear mode, and you get a huge increase in health. He's actually a very smart player from fairly standard, but still smart. Lone Druid, how much money has he got? I think he's just bought something up. In fact, there you go. There's the rest of his assault. It's being brought out now. Loader though, still going to be pushing Hero mid. No time. They're hell bent on making the most of this here. They know they have an opening here. They know they have a huge opening. I cannot fault them. This is exactly what they want to do. They know they have a huge opening. Look at this bear. This bear is ridiculously farmed right now. They have the advantage. They want to make sure they get these early racks. Leave nothing to chance here. The tower though, or rather the rack's going to get drilled down here at the moment. We see a dual breath tossed in there as well. And there's that pipe being popped. This is exactly what I mean about the free farming ducks. I mean, once you get this pipe and this mech, your team is so hard to kill. So hard to kill. There we go. Can drill down the range racks as well. Possibly sweep top in a sec. There we go. They're going to go straight to top. And there's just nothing Pulse can do about this. A 15k gold lead, as well as a 12k experience lead. So they're going to charge it here. There's a dual breath there. Do we have Macropyre? Macropyre is up to Cure. But this is burned from the dare. With the Iron Shell and the Radius, this is just dishing out so much damage. We've got Leshrac built the Soul Boost. They're actually working on a BKB now as well by the looks of things. We see the disruption there being used. Kira gets taken out. Macropyre gets popped. They really don't care about it though. And now, Wagamama now getting chased down by the bear. He's going to proc a root. No, he's not. Bounty Hunter also just getting away. Recall back. And now they're in fact going to take another run at Mini. Mini now. About to get rooted. No roots there. Doesn't matter. Has the damage anyway. Bear recalled again. So War gets tossed down by Darkseer. Looks like he's going to try and sneak around it, but they know Bounty Hunter's skulking about here and he's walked through it there, but it doesn't really matter too much. They're focused on the racks anyway. Need to get the buildings down. And there we go. Range racks is down. They need to work on the melee as well, as it looks like they are going to throw it in the Chaos Media. It's not really going to do a whole lot though. There we go. Drags him back in. And I really just did not see the whole Sunstrike, Yule's Sunstrike Deafening Blast Invoker with the Meteor tossed in for good measure. We just haven't been seeing that insta-gear value from the Invoker. This is coming down to the fact that Darkseer, like he had to buy. Like he went for the Midas and then the 4-star. It's actually more of an old. With the exception of the Midas, this is more of a sort of a TI1 Invoker Dendy. This is sort of the build. He'd go for the full-on mobility rather than the wombo combo with the Yules. That said, though, they will pick off the tier 3 bottom tower. Looking like they're going for Megas at the moment, although the top racks is still up. One of the top racks is still up there. As it looks like, oh, vacuum in. Can we see a stun there? There we go. Wagamama getting pinned down by the roots as well. Nyx also in some trouble, trying to kill Aki. Aki, though, pops the Ghost Scepter, runs out. Doesn't matter. The bear gets him. A double kill for Bear Dog, and a godlike as well. The Megas are on the way to boot. Still has that Aegis as well. Chaos Media tossed out. Lotus still going to town with him. As see Whist now teleporting into the fray there. But this looks like pretty much GG as the top racks. Yes, it has been finished off by the creep. Megas are done. And there we go. Mega creeps are up and running. It's just a matter of time now. I think no time if they wanted to could actually just pull out, because I don't think that Pulse can actually fight the Megas that efficiently. See a 4-star in and blink out. Somebody 4-star it immediately blinked out. The Fishbone now throwing the Ice Path and Power gets tossed as well. Envy not really caring though. Seeing the Magpie. Fishbone still taking more damage. Envy has picked up an Ogre Club there. Tether stun there on Fishbone. Fishbone now still being chased around in circles. There's the Iron Shell being thrown down. Fishbone gets taken out. Counter wars everywhere. Why not? Because you can. And Mini also throwing down the Sunstrike. GG is called though. I think we knew it was happening. And then we'll pick up Nyx once again. But Pulse Unfortunately, falling victim here to no Tidehunter, and I've got to say, some slightly random picks there. Pulse, of course, do the slightly unconventional picks. But anyway, guys, that has been a 2-0 sweep for no Tidehunter, and shout out to Pulse. They were good sports and actually said, you know what, let's play a best of 3, even though they weren't within their rights to demand a 1-0 forfeit. They decided they wanted to play a best of 3, so Pulse manners there from them, and a shout out to them, but on the other hand, no Tidehunter too strong in the end. But guys, that has been the Premier League for tonight, and I'm going to quickly check